Hello, weekend astronomers. In today's video, we'll be comparing SpaceX's gleaming Falcon 9 versus Blue Origin's new Shepard. Which one of the spacecrafts more superior? Stick around to the end to find out. In the meantime, let us know your answer in the comment section below. So, let's not waste any more time and get right to the juicy part. First of all, we need to clarify that both spacecrafts were designed and built to serve two completely different purposes. The Falcon 9 was mainly intended to transfer crew and cargo to the International Space Station. Blue Origin's new Shepard, however, was a rocket designed to shoot a gumdrop-shaped capsule with 6 seats, roughly 62 miles or 100 kilometers above the ground, to the edge of space. A roughly 10-minute mission that gives passengers a sightseeing experience in microgravity for about 3 minutes. Now that the purpose is out of the way, let's talk about numbers and detail. The Falcon 9 is an orbital launch vehicle, while the new Shepard is a suborbital vehicle. What's the difference, you may ask? Orbital and suborbital flight are common terms in the spaceflight industry that sound very familiar, but they mean very different things. The main difference between orbital and suborbital flight is the speed at which the vehicle is traveling. An orbital vehicle must achieve what is known as orbital velocity, whereas a suborbital rocket flies at speeds below that. Orbital velocity is the speed that an object must maintain to remain in orbit around a planet, which means the Falcon 9 is much faster. The Falcon 9 stands 54.9 meters or 207 feet tall. The new Shepard, however, stands at only 18 meters or 59 feet tall, almost 4 times lesser than the Falcon 9. Moving on, what's the weight of these monsters, you may ask? The Falcon 9 comes in at a whopping 333 tons, 734,000 pounds, or 332,963 kilograms. As for the new Shepard, her weight is something we do not know. And don't you dare look for the answer. Jeffrey Bezos shall not tolerate any of this nonsense. But thankfully, we are here to give you an estimate. Most people believe that the weight ranges from 35 to 55 tons. Also, let us know what you think the weight is and why. And about the top speed that we know of, the new Shepard can and did hit 3,568 kilometers per hour or 2,217 miles per hour. But as for the Falcon 9, there are some things Elon doesn't want us to know. Next, let us tell you about a funny SpaceX story, one that has some lessons for our own lives. The story is about how SpaceX tested and attempted their landing tests. You know, the impressive vertical landing? The story takes us back to September 2013, somewhere near the Falcon 9 Flight 6. After stage separation, the flight test plan called for the final stage booster to first burn to reduce its re-entry velocity, and then effect a second burn just before it reached the water. SpaceX stated they expected several powered descent tests to achieve successful recovery before they can then attempt a landing on a solid surface. During the final landing burn, the ACS thrusters could not overturn an aerodynamically induced spin, leading to an early engine shutdown, and that should have looked like this. Fast forward another 2 years of SpaceX employees doing hard work, and hard work is an understatement, but that'll bring us to 2015, and 4 more ocean landing tests. The first stage of SpaceX CRS-5 launch vehicle attempted a landing on a floating landing platform, the ASDS, in January. The rocket incorporated many grid fins for aerodynamic control and guided itself to the ship successfully, but ran out of hydraulic fluid and lost its steering ability. A second attempt to land the floating platform occurred in April 2015 on SpaceX CRS-6. After the launch, Elon Musk let everyone know that the bipropellant valve had become stuck, and therefore the control system could not react rapidly enough, and what it went like is something we are used to at this point. The first attempt to land the first stage of Falcon 9 on the ground pad near the launch site occurred on Falcon 9 Flight 20. The maiden flight of the Falcon 9 full thrust version in December 2015. The landing was successful and the first stage recovered. This was the first time in history that a rocket's first stage returned to Earth after propelling an orbital launch mission and achieving a controlled landing vertically. If there's something to learn from this multi-million-dollar short story, it's that you should improvise and push further. Speaking of pushing further, let's move on to some more interesting facts about events. Do you wish to fly to space on board the Falcon 9? That probably isn't happening anytime soon. The rocket will be busy doing much more important work. However, Blue Origin might be able to quench that superflight thirst of yours. The new Shepard was literally made with space tourism in mind and not exploration. The ticket should set you back $250,000 for a 10-minute ride, or in other words, a nice 3-bedroom apartment overlooking the Dubai Marina. To sum things up and to come to a conclusion, they're not even close. The path Falcon 9 takes is arched. After stage 1 disconnects and needs to flip vertically before it can land. The new Shepard stays vertical during the whole trip. I mean, if I ever paid $250,000, I too wouldn't want to be flipped like a pancake. Secondly, landing a long and thin rocket is much too difficult. Third, the Falcon 9 Stage 1 goes 124 miles high before it detaches from the rest of the rocket. The new Shepard only goes 62 miles. Next, the Falcon 9 Stage 1 starts its descent at a speed of Mach 5.5 to Mach 7.5. The new Shepard only goes Mach 3. Also, the Falcon 9 has a maximum thrust of 1,500,000 pounds or 680,300 kilograms, while the new Shepard doesn't go over 100,000 pounds or 45,350 kilograms. In SpaceX's successful trips, not only did Stage 1 land, but hundreds of satellites were successfully delivered to orbit. In comparison to the Blue Origin's successful trip, it only benefited the people on board and future customers. Not to throw shade on any of the companies or spacecrafts, but to be completely fair, both spacecrafts serve their own unique purpose. They are not meant to be competitive to each other, but this was only a comparison to satisfy our curious minds. I hope you enjoy this brief rundown with us. We try to keep our content as space newbie friendly as possible. Make sure to comment down to let us know what other topics or comparisons you would like to see in the future. You can support us to keep making content by liking the video and subscribing if you enjoyed it. Thank you all, and we'll see you in the next one.
3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA, go NASA, go SpaceX. Godspeed, Bob and Doug.